Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea only on Win Media 98.9.
Good morning. Welcome to Island Tea, everybody. Right here on With Media SKN with your faves. Kevin and Azim featuring Jade, Gwen, Idita, CPL, Martha Stewart, Johnson. And
Friday.
It's Friday.
Indeed.
Jade, it's January 14th already. We're halfway through the month.
What did I tell you, Azim?
We're halfway through the month. What is happening?
Flying. I told you it's flying.
Wow. Oh boy. But I must say that this year, I don't know if it's because of what's happening in the last 2 years. But I've been managing.
As you should.
I've been managing. I can't really complain. Really and truly.
You have life, friend.
No one really. Nobody. Most people don't care.
No.
When you complain, most people really don't care.
They act like they do, though.
Everybody got their own things going on here.
Yep.
Everybody got their own things going on.
Indeed.
But I woke up this morning, back to my usual wake up time.
Oh, that's nice.
And I was actually a bit upset.
Why?
My usual wake up time is like 5:30 minutes to 6, right? But this time of year, the place was dark.
Yes, I turn you off.
It was dark. I want to go back in my bed. It's too dark for me to be up.
Those are different. But
Oh boy.
guess what?
What?
It's time to link up.
You ready?
Yeah. Our friends over in Antigua. Let's give them a little countdown there. Yes, it is time to link up with our friends in Antigua. Hopefully Kadim is there. Kadim, good morning. Good morning, Kadim. No, I guess not.
I think you have to unmute this thing now.
Yeah,
so.
I think they realize they're kind of mute. Yeah, they're mute.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have an
Island Tea.
There we go. There we go.
Okay, there we go. Good morning.
Morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Okay, sounds like we have a full cast of individuals. So just to let you know, we have with us Miss Maxine McLean. She is a former Minister of Foreign Affairs in Barbados. Also, she has served as a senator, and she is a member of the Democratic Labour Party. I'd like to say thanks so much for joining us. And also, Miss McLean, just to make the introductions complete, I know for sure we have Jade on the line with us from Win FM. I'm not sure who else is in the studio with her. I know Azem and Kevon like to play hide and seek with us over here. I don't know. What's
Wow, that's what they're talking about, y'all
That's what they're
boy.
talking about us.
Wow,
But
that's crazy.
as I'm is here, I am not hiding nor seeking this morning.
very well.
Karim, how we doing, man?
I am great. I am great. It's been an interesting ride filling in for Darren Matthew Ward for what is this is the second week in a row. So I'm taking his regular licks from the listeners and enjoying our stint here with the listeners of Observer Media in Antigua and Barbuda. In Antigua and Barbuda, that is, and across the world.
You take the licks with the acclaim, man. Don't study that.
How are you guys doing over there before we go to Miss McLean?
Well, I'm doing great. How are you, Azim?
I'm doing great. I was just telling Jay that this year, I don't know if I've become battle hardened after the past 2 years, but I've been coping well with whatever this year throws at me so far. So I'm doing good.
That's great to hear. And Miss McLean, you're joining us in the heat of things in the Caribbean, certainly politically related. You are in Battleground Central as the campaign heats up down there in Barbados. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, and let me apologize for not having the video. I noticed that we've been having a little challenge with some of our internet connections, and it's probably going to be easier for you to if I don't turn on the video and just so I am doing well. I as you know, we have a very short space of time before the election, so we're into about 5 days now. We had about 20, 21, 22 days. And I think that the Democratic Labour Party is also doing well. As you know, we had the launch of our manifesto last night. And so we are doing battle. And I'm happy to have been invited to participate in your program and to share some of what we are doing. So thanks for having me.
Well, Jade, if you don't mind me getting the ball rolling, from your perspective, Miss McLean, what are some of the major issues? Even before I go into major issues, how has the campaign been for the DLP in Barbados? This is an early election. I'm not sure how sure the DLP was that there would have been an early election or snap election called, but how are you guys doing in terms of the campaign down there?
I think the campaign has been going very well, and perhaps the best way for me to answer is to share some of the reactions that we got, whether it's from Barbadians at home or Barbadians following in the diaspora. And I remember seeing comments in various chats I'm in with Barbadians abroad. They were, quote unquote, pleasantly surprised at the level of readiness. And for whatever reason, I think that some people bought into the notion and the message that was sent abroad by some that it would have caught the Democratic Labour Party by surprise. It certainly did not, to the extent that we expected an early election. We, however, were concerned that it was called at this time right in the middle of what is seen as an exponential increase in positive cases of the coronavirus. For example, as you know, elections are not due until 2023, May 2023. And so we're a year and a half essentially earlier than when elections are due. And within the context of that pandemic, and as I said, the kind of rise in numbers, and not only the rise, but the projection in numbers, we felt that it was perhaps not an appropriate time to put that additional burden on Barbadians. Interestingly enough, in terms of readiness, what some of us found kind of strange, for want of a better word, was the apparent lack of full readiness on the part of the Barbados Labour Party, the government, because at the time of calling the elections, they had not identified all of their candidates, for example. The Electoral and Boundaries Commission, based on a number of comments would suggest to the population that they themselves were not ready. And traditionally, while the date of the election is known by the prime minister, I've heard previous prime ministers say that they will have a conversation with themselves as to when the election will be called. But traditionally, the experience has been that a prime minister, before calling elections, will establish that all was in train for the the efficient and effective conduct of an election. So for us, if I come back to the Democratic Labour Party, we would have been preparing for this. The party leader, Verla de Pisa, would have established her committees of advisors. And so what you will see coming out in our policy positions and as captured, for example, in our manifesto, would not have been a reaction to an election, but a steady and careful preparation um, for, articulating our policy positions and ultimately capturing that in a manifesto.
Jade, any questions from you guys before we go on?
Well, I'm happy to hear that you feel the campaign has been going well and the feedback has been positive. But one can probably argue that the BLP may not have been fully, it might not have been their full plan to call election at this particular time. What do you think are some of the factors that would have caused the election to be called, like you said, a full year and a half early?
Well, two things. One, let me speak to the actual calling in January 19th and calling of an early election. So if I speak to the broader issue of an early election, the prime minister continues to speak about um, six, the imposition of stringent measures going forward. As you know, the prime minister and the Barbados Labour Party entered into an agreement with the IMF. And very early, some decisions were made which have had lasting impacts on the economy and the society, really, when we had a significant restructuring of debt, which, from our perspective in the Democratic Labour Party, was ill-timed and ill-advised. And so with all that has happened with that restructuring and then layering on that the impact of the COVID pandemic on global economies, and for us, tourism has been problematic. Of course, we've seen some improvements in other parts of the Caribbean in a way that we have not seen in terms of our economies. But the key point is that there was a signal sent to Barbadians that there's some harsh decisions to be taken, translated into austerity measures and so on. And therefore, there's a belief that to preempt that and to ensure that you didn't have that impacting on an election at the traditionally expected time, you were going to have early elections. Bring it forward now to January 19th. And for some time, we have been hearing on island of dissension within the ranks of the Barbados Labour Party and probably rebellion from some of her parliamentary group, etc. And in terms of that, they immediately before the calling of the election, there were rumors circulating that a majority of the government's that parliamentary group would have sought to go to the president and to have to signal their dissatisfaction with the prime minister. Now, if that is so, let me say that what is required in relation to that is one, according to our constitution, the prime minister would have to resign as prime minister and allow someone else to take over. Or as the second alternative, our constitution provides for a dissolving of parliament and a calling of elections within 3 days of that notification well, in the constitution, it says Governor General, because we have not completed the changes of our constitution, but it would be notification of the president. So there's a feeling across many, by many Barbadians, a feeling held by many Barbadians, or thinking that the prime minister was pressured into calling this at this time to avoid the, for want of a better word, the humiliation of being asked to step aside by her colleagues.
Oh, okay.
One of the things I want. Do you have a follow up there? Sorry about that.
No, no, go ahead, Kadim.
Okay, one of the things I was curious about that has somewhat perhaps punctuated the regional news cycle is the issue of LIAT. Does the DLP have a plan for former LIAT workers, especially those from Barbados? Is there a plan as it relates to LIAT for the DLP?
I cannot speak to that. I can tell you that we have sought to address the matter prior to even, to address the matter of LIAT workers and those who are affected in Barbados, but I would prefer those at the level of the parties, policy making, etc. I was not participating in that process, and I would prefer not to speak to that. What I can anticipate based on our history with LIAT as a major shareholder and so on, we are very concerned that this matter has been allowed to drag on for as long as it has, because if you look at what traditionally happens in Barbados in terms of industrial relations matters and matters of severance, we have some very clear rules about that, and we would have anticipated that the sitting government would have negotiated with the Antiguan government and other stakeholders in LIAT to have a resolution, because in our scheme of things in Barbados, labor matters which relate to severance do not drag on as long as they have. So I am sure that it will have to be an issue that would have the attention of a Democratic Labour Party government should that be the case in the next couple of days. But it is one that we certainly regret has been allowed to drag on, as I said before, for such an extended period of time, causing hardship to not only employees, but to those dependents on those employees.
Before my colleagues jump back in, I wanted to ask you what, from your vantage point, are the bread and butter issues, major issues going into this election that Barbadians are looking at, are listening to the major parties to hear how they'll address them?
Okay, I think clearly the concerns of the population, and if you look at what has happened, we would have had significant retrenchment of workers because of our heavy dependence on tourism. We have seen significant unemployment across that sector and on the other sectors that depend on tourism. So clearly the issue of unemployment, the inability to sustain family life, meet your basic financial needs, etc., is of major importance. The impact on the health of the population, clearly. So in essence, at the heart of it is how do we navigate our way through this pandemic to bring back some level of normalcy, because as you would imagine, education has been impacted. And unfortunately, I am sad to say that we have not seen the kind of response to the educational challenges posed by this pandemic. And therefore, getting back to some level of quote unquote normalcy is a critical consideration. So what you're seeing coming out of this is how do we get people back to work in a way that allows us to achieve some level of stability in the economy. So the question of jobs, the question of minimizing the fallout is those are some of the very immediate needs, because at the end of the day, where people are unemployed, their very existence, their ability to maintain a shelter over their heads, people are facing bankruptcy, etc. And there are some concerns that as we look to change and we talk about transforming the economy and diversifying our economic base, etc., the question is how do we get people to a stage where there is a sense of, for want of a better word, comfort as we navigate this, where people can see some changes in their circumstances as they've manifested over the last 2 years. So those are the things. How do we get past this crisis? How do we survive this crisis? How do we live in this crisis in a way that allows us to start to focus on what happens. Crime, of course, is a parallel consideration there, because we have seen in the last 3.5 years a level of criminal behavior, and particularly among our younger population, our younger males. If you look at the level of um, numbers of young men on remand for murder, for example. So the whole issue of personal safety within the context of, the surge in crime and violence is something that parallels the unemployment situation, the economic downturn, etc. So to me, those are two of the critical issues. And as I said, the issue of health, because as we have sought to address the challenges of the pandemic, the demand for healthcare, etc., a number a number of persons have found themselves unable to access in the way that they traditionally have been able the regular healthcare services. As you might know, Barbados is perhaps a bit worse than some of the other countries when it comes to the incidence of non-communicable diseases, hypertension, diabetes, obesity. We do have those problems, and traditionally our healthcare service has catered to those needs. A significant percentage of our budget and our time of our healthcare professionals in our public hospital that time goes to caring for those things. So that is another issue that people are concerned about. And as you know, we also on top of that have a nurses strike that has been ongoing for 6 weeks or so.
Jade,
Well, I was just curious to know, since we are in the middle of a pandemic still, how do you think that will affect the electoral process and the turnout on election day?
Well, the turnout, some people have been predicting will be lower. Now, I don't know that is, but that it will be lower to the extent that the Electoral and Boundaries Commission has indicated that persons who are COVID positive cannot vote. I believe in other elections across the region, provisions would have been made for such persons. And that is worrisome to the extent that, as I mentioned earlier, we have a situation where in the last week or so, we have seen an exponential increase in the numbers of positive cases daily. And in fact, the health officials have shared with the public some statistics based on a modeling exercise conducted by officials at the University of West Indies Cave Hill campus, which project that we can see from as much as between 1,200 to 3,500 new cases per day. Now, if you think in terms of a population such as ours, where you probably have a total population of 270, 280, 300,000 persons, and you extract from that your on the age population, those persons below voting age. And then if you take, for example, the last week, and you look at the numbers, well, we haven't, thank God, reached any of those numbers yet, but we're in excess of 500 persons per day. So even with that, when you start to do a summing up, you would realize that there's a potential for significant numbers. And in a small jurisdiction such as Barbados, where a constituency may be won or lost by as low as 2 or 3 votes, and 200-300 votes, if you had a cluster of persons in a constituency coming down with COVID, that can make a significant difference to the outcome of that particular election, and who wins it. So there's a concern about the numbers in terms of turning up. The other issue has to do with the processes. Clearly, proper hygiene protocols have to be followed, and the expectation is that that will increase the time it takes to process any individual voter. And our polls run from 6 to 6, and therefore the question is, will that impact the ability of persons to actually go and vote, or will it frustrate some persons? Because there's been no discussion of at least to date, of an extension of polling hours. So I trust that we will soon hear from the officials of the Electoral and Boundaries Commission about the exact procedures and how they propose to make them as efficient as possible to minimize any delays in casting of individuals casting their vote.
We are coming to the end of our interview this morning, and I'll beg Jade and Azem a little bit more time to ask a final question as we wrap. Now, the DLP will have lost 30-0 to the BLP in 2018. What makes the DLP now confident that it will do much better and perhaps indeed take the reins of power back from the BLP in this election cycle?
Well, one of the things, of course, in terms of let me speak to the defeat in 2018. Part of the challenge there was that many of our supporters would have stayed away from the polls. It was, in fact, also the perhaps lowest turnout in recent history of elections. I think that part of what we are seeing is an appreciation of the differences between what would have been promised by the Mayor Motley administration and what has been delivered. I think Barbadians are now in a position to judge what her administration has been capable of. In fact, as somebody put it to me, if she had never been prime minister, she might have been described as the best prime minister Barbados never had. But having given her the vote, as she said, give me the vote and watch me, Barbadians have recognized that in terms of her decision making from the beginning, her size of cabinet, her decisions in terms of economic decisions, her spending of money on in addition to 26 plus size cabinet, a whole battery of consultants, and we are not seeing those results. People are recognizing that while we might have failed in communicating a lot of what we did, and we have some issues where we fell down, and people felt that we needed to be punished for that, they recognize that they are able to now compare the two situations. The other concern for a lot of people is if we give you a 30-0 mandate and you made a number of promises, why are you coming to the polls a year and a half early and saying to the population, vote for me? If we didn't deliver everything we didn't. But, so you're saying you didn't deliver, give us a chance to deliver. But you came to the polls way in advance. So you had 18 months to deliver on a number of things. So I think at the end of the day, Barbadians will have a chance to say, look, these are the promises. These are how we execute promises in the past. This is how both political parties have done so. We are now putting to you our proposals, and they are in a position to weigh those things. And so I believe that Barbadians, as they have done in the past, will look at those things and weigh them. Of course, in relation to our first past the post situation in terms of voting, we also have a situation where you might find yourself getting the majority of the popular vote, but you may not get all the seats that reflect that. So we will see how it works. But I think at the end of the day, Barbados has, when it comes to the Democratic Labour Party, a slate of candidates, many of them young, but who have demonstrated their capacity to deliver at the level of non-governmental organizations, as young entrepreneurs, as professionals, as community activists, etc., and who have been working in their communities outside of politics, who have gone into their constituencies as politicians in the and representatives in the making, and demonstrated their commitment. And so we will see from there how the electorate will respond.
Ms. McLean, I know for sure we can continue to talk to you about things happening in Barbados for the rest of the show, but I think my friends at Island Tea will have to leave us at this point in time. They have a packed show this morning. I do have another question for you right after they leave, but I'll allow them to bid you goodbye as we continue our morning here.
Okay, well.
Yes, we want to just wish you guys the best in your elections. We will catch up after it has all been said and done, and we'll see where we are.
Well, I appreciate that, and I thank you for giving me the opportunity to share some of my thoughts as I reflect as a member of the Democratic Labour Party. And I'm happy to share again with you after we can go back and look at what the outcome has been, what it will, when it happens, after it's happened, and we can discuss that and other things, of importance to us in the region. So thank you for having me, and I appreciate, sharing with you.
So Jade and Azam, we have the assurance that win or lose, we'll have Miss McLean back with us next Friday, hopefully, and we can continue that discussion. So I'll
Well,
say bye
if
to
you
you
want me and
guys,
I'm
and
available,
for sure, I will keep that line open. But what I wanted to ask you as Island Tea departs, what I wanted to ask you is, what do you make of Bishop Joseph Atherley's decision to switch constituencies, and how?
Jade,
Yes.
it's gonna be interesting.
Boy, what is it, next week?
Yeah, what day is it? What day is it? 19th.
I'll check in a second. Let me just sort out our end. Okay, so the 19th
Mm-hmm.
is going to be Wednesday.
So next Wednesday is the election in Barbados.
Yes.
It's gonna be interesting.
Boy, will it will. Do you think?
Nope.
Well, I was going to ask you. What was going to ask you, Azim?
I don't know.
But just nope.
Nope.
Same. No, same, honestly. I don't know. I don't see it happening for them, honestly. But we will, I mean,
Yeah, the thing is,
hey, it might surprise us. Remember, we didn't see it happening for Trump either.
Are we not? Are we not? No, I
Boy.
saw it happening for Trump.
Okay,
but,
well, I didn't. So.
But yeah, we're not on the ground too. Sometimes
Yeah.
people working with emotion. I think there's a lot of different factors that could sway a seat here or there, including just COVID.
Yeah.
Like people, they seem to be in the middle of a wave down there now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's a lot of different factors, but
Just have to see.
yeah,
Just
but
have
it
to
was
see.
interesting when we asked about well, Kadim asked, what gave her the impression that they'd be more successful this time around than the last time, and everything had to do with the people seem to not like Mayor.
Yeah, which is what is strange to me, because I expected them to explain what their plans were and what they promised to the people that would
Entice them. Yeah, entice
influence them
Mhm.
to make the decision of choosing
The DLP.
over. But you know what? I guess they got it. Men are politicians. I can.
So both Barbados parties are like come out of the labor movement. That's what's going on down there. They always seem
Seems
like
that DLP and BLP. Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But anyway, on to some St. Kitts news. We got the COVID report early.
It's tea time.
Yes. So, as of Thursday, 13th January 2022, we have 85 confirmed cases in the last 24 hours, which brings the total number of cases to 4,730.
On the road to 5.
Yes, with 1,269 active cases currently.
1269.
Yes.
So is that?
Mm-hmm.
Jade, let me again speedy recovery to all of those who dealing with COVID right now.
Yes.
Hopefully, no one has any serious illness, and could avoid having to go to the hospital and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So speedy recovery to all you guys listening who might be dealing with that.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you who don't, continue to protect yourself.
Yes. Wear your mask, sanitize, vaccinate if you're going to, the usuals. Yeah, by now, y'all know the usuals.
Yeah,
We
but-
tell y'all every day, so.
But Jade, I can tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about anybody else, but to me it's obvious that a lot of people home.
Yes.
The place feels slow.
You think
Jade,
you think
Jade,
some of them home willfully, like
Jade,
telling them what's the sick?
Jade, I don't know. I just know I've been finding. No, because most places been telling you guys sending your positive result.
Oh,
But
smart.
what I'm realizing is I could find parking in town.
Yeah.
Easy.
That's how you know people home.
That's how. Watch here. The place just the cars ain't buzzing. A couple the school closed too. So
Yeah,
that is a whole.
Well, some school.
Yeah, and but the place just real quiety. Like I don't mind. I'm gonna tell you, I don't mind. But
You don't mind until you have to go to a business establishment.
that close.
Not only closed, that is understaffed.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, there's some business I want to conduct, and yesterday I left after the show, went to the establishment, only to be met with the response. The people that deal with that, they are out with COVID, you're going to come back next week also.
See what I mean? You only realize.
And that would have been like maybe the third time this week that happened.
Damn. Well,
So,
speedy recovery to all of you guys. You are essential to
a
our
lot
lives.
of people home, trust me. Quiet. And as a matter of fact, January usually kind of quiet and kind of slow, but this is different, by. This is different, and usually
because it's Friday and it still don't feel like
Jade, the whole place, the cars also ain't even moving around like crossing
nobody
the
there
road.
to drive the cars.
Yeah, people home.
Yeah.
People home.
So there you go. But on to some positive news.
Hey.
That does not have to do with corona cases. We have a list of the most powerful Caribbean passports in 2022. Where do you think we fall?
I would say between 3 and 5.
Okay, that's a good estimate. So, it's another year into the pandemic. Yes, it is. And Barbados continues to lead the region in having the most powerful passports in the Caribbean for 2022. According to the 2022 Henley Global Passport Index ranking, Barbados is number 1 in the Caribbean, and it is positioned globally yet again at number 23 with visa-free access to 161 countries. Special mention was made about Dominica, with Henley and partners noting that, as in past years, countries that offer residence and citizenship by investment programs continue to perform strongly on the Henley Passport Index, with Dominica's recent waiver agreement with China seen by experts as a prime example of that success. The top 10 most powerful passports in the Caribbean are Barbados, ranking globally at 23 with visa-free access to 161 destinations. Number 2, St. Kitts and Nevis, ranking globally at number 25 with visa-free access to 157 destinations. By the time I done with them, we're at number 1, Yeah, I see it. The Bahamas, ranking globally at number 26 with visa.
Italy?
Huh?
We go Italy without visa?
Make sure, honestly.
We got a whole consulate here, I think.
Yeah, make
We
sure.
got embassy here, right? Yeah, we got embassy.
So that would mean probably.
No, not really.
Oh, okay, well, mean it then.
We got a Brazilian one, but I had to get my visa to go Brazil. I couldn't even, and I was so upset because we got Brazil embassy here, and I still had to send me my passport to get a visa.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Anyway.
Yeah, so the Bahamas is number 3, St. Vincent and the Grenadines is number 4, Antigua and Barbuda is number 5, Trinidad and Tobago is what? Oh, they made a typo because I'm like number 5 here twice. So Antigua and Barbuda is number 5, Trinidad and Tobago is number 6, St. Lucia is number 7, Dominica is number 8, Grenada is number 9, and Belize is number 10. Look at us up there with the big boys.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't really get too excited over these
I know,
things.
because anyway.
Yeah, I want these relations, these diplomatic relations with these countries to turn into more benefit for the locals, like direct benefit. Yeah, trade exchanges. Half of these places, the people who live the islands they ain't even know they exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, let's do some cultural exchanges. Let's get some trade going. You understand?
How would you?
Yeah, let's get some people just traveling over there to see what it is that we could bring back to implement here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like those people making the passports attractive, but yeah, I mean a lot of the money is what to keep the countries afloat. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, there's also a lot of people who benefit personally. And there's a small subset of people, the regular man, in benefiting in those ways. So, yeah, it's something good to boast about and things like that, but yeah.
So there's more work to be done.
Well, no, I mean the work is being done. It's just now to
That's why I said more.
to take advantage of it in more ways, as opposed to, hey, look how strong the passport is. It should be look at the diplomatic relations we have with these countries and how we're using those connections to benefit the local population.
No, I would you 100%. I support you 100%. Do you want to take some calls before we jump into the next article?
Let's see what we're going on. Good morning, caller 11 Island T. What's up? Good morning, caller 11 Island T. What's up?
Feel free to call back, guys. Yes.
Indeed.
Feel free to call back. Well,
Come over here, man.
I mean, they're listening, so.
Good morning, caller 11 Island T. What's up?
Greetings.
Morning.
Greetings.
Island tea good?
Yeah, man. Everything good on my ends.
The bush tea. All right. May sip mine there. All right. Give thanks to the information flood link here with Barbados political issue. We heard the Honorable Prime Minister say that this quick election is important towards the unification of Barbadians. What y'all think about that? You know, the give thanks to the link with the lady there, but it ended abrupt. She was going to develop a point concerning the candidates in her thing there, and she didn't get to complete it. We don't like that. But anyhow, give thanks again for the link. Now, the situation we know, the statistic there you just shared there. My brother, yeah, the financial benefit. The other thing that we talk about with trading and we intermixing with them people there, the populace, you know, it's very important. And avoid the need to be failed like yesterday is, you know. The economic thing there, we will love the populace to benefit more, so that we put a dent in the class system, which we know is dictated by money. Class system is dictated by economics. Upper class have it abundantly. The middle class, we don't know, and the lower class, stricken poverty, hand to mouth. So, if monies, tangible monies, are come out of this thing here, you know, it will just go places other than the places it go. If we go much further, people will really benefit from this. And it should be seen that people are benefiting. You know, the land too, when we really, in the scheme of this, things of this economic citizenship thing, it is very important that we set in place a policy that every tooth, moon and Sam, bagay, who born, yasso, think it's Nevis. From your birth, some kind of land, some piece of land is just yours. just like that. And set it in a way where remove the landlessness, the shelterlessness that is plaguing me from that time. You know, them kind of things that we want to see them kind of things in place with these things we are going, with these schemes we are going, with this economic empowerment and economic citizenship thing. Nothing to see. Otherwise the people going to get left behind in some, you know, in some unimaginable ways. And when I say the people, I'm talking about the masses. I'm not talking about some of the people. I'm talking about the masses of the people. Yeah? The others done counted. The few done counted. I'm talking about the masses now. You know?
Right. Each road.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, man.
Thanksgiving.
Appreciate it, man. Where have we go? Other than the places that we already going.
You gonna get work on me.
You can get work on you.
Yeah,
We're talking about Jade.
Yes, he's correct. I agree with him and his points. Want to take another call before we jump into some more? Yeah, man.
Let's see what's going on here. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Good morning.
Morning.
First time calling. I have two things to speak on. I believe it was on Wednesday. You had a steel band player in the studio.
Yes.
Okay, he say he playing band for 25 years. And he's still so passionate, right? He started when he was 5 years. I looking back at myself now, taking part in Carnival when I was 10 years, already past 60, but yet still we fall into the clown troop. This Carnival and last Carnival, we were prevented from taking part in Carnival. I spoke with the chairperson of Carnival. I believe made a mistake though. I was to introduce myself. My name is Koshroy Tweed.
Okay.
I've been to Beach Island School 2001, all the time there. Taught them how to play clown. Kind of bring back the clown thing on the streets of Bastille. And it was something good. I tried to reach as fast as possible, get the 4 primary schools in Bastille to come as one combined primary school clown troupe. It was a great idea for the present director, but yet still, and to now, nothing materialized since 2015. But my problem is, why is it they're fighting against the clown troupe? What I would like you all to do for me, please, I get to understand the chairperson would be in your studio this morning. I would like you all to put a question to her. Why is it the clown troupe is being prevented, was being prevented from being on the streets of Bastille? The next thing I'm going to mention is I'm going to kind of roll back a little on what the last caller spoke of. We owning a piece of land. I don't think you all was born back in 1975. The 1st of December 1975. Saying people went to vote for the then Premier, Robert Bradshaw, to acquire the sugar land. So, truth and in fact, he won the election. So then eventually he went and he put money in the treasury on behalf of our sugar land. But yet still, after that, we the people had no say. But our lands are being sold without we giving no kind of consent for them to sell it. So it's along the line, it's like a mafia thing going on with the sugar land because nobody got no right to sell something that is being owned collectively. We give certain set of people power of attorney, but that does not give them the right to go and sell what's that thing. Big problem going to be there with Milan now. We're going to end up like the Palestinians living in refugee camp while the so-called Israeli gang live in the house, you know. That's why they got war in Israel today, you know. Good morning, respect.
Hi, sir. Hello.
Hello?
Yes. Well, to your
I'm
first,
still here.
to your first.
Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
To your first point, I do remember when you did teach Beach Island because I was one of the students that you taught.
Imagine that.
So I want to say thank you for your contributions. We're not sure why you weren't able to participate, but we can ask. Yeah, sounds so. But I honestly do remember while I was in Beach Island, someone came to teach us how to play clown. I was a clown. I still am, but
Yeah.
not that type.
No.
And yeah, but we will ask. That's a good question to ask on behalf of the caller. As if you want to tackle his second point, because I don't know nothing about that.
I mean the land ownership.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think St. Kitts just does have a very unique land ownership history, right? Something that is, and I say unique meaning different from the other countries, and it come out because of the whole sugar plantation. I think at a certain time, basically all the land in St. Kitts was owned by like 3 families or some crazy thing like that.
Yeah.
Right, and so it just land ownership has
We
been.
really got a history on that yesterday.
Yeah, and I think that land ownership in St. Kitts is I think it's, and so particularly for us, it is important. I don't think we really learn about it enough to have people recognize the importance of land ownership and the fact that don't take it for granted because it wasn't always like this.
Nope,
You know what I
definitely
mean?
wasn't.
So I think yeah, that is something that we really need to, as just as citizens, really learn about. And okay, I was wondering what going on up there, but just it's important. It's important. I don't know how that would work in terms of every citizen born receiving land. I feel like that is a very limited resource.
It is, because St. Kitts is very small.
And then because unless you do something like it's being done in some of the other particularly Dutch territories where they don't allow you to pass on the land asset like that. Like if it reverts back to the state when you die.
Oh, so you can't pass it down.
Yeah. So I ain't really for that.
No.
I ain't really for that.
Oh, you gonna tell me my land that I worked so hard to get and own, I can't give it to my children. Yeah, that's kind of...
Yeah, they gotta go through some other kind of thing and get back from the state. And
the whole reason of me doing all of this is so my children won't have to.
Right. I think it goes against just human, like the purpose of being here.
Yeah.
So, I don't know exactly how that kind of policy would work. 'Cause I feel after 4 or 5 generations,
Yeah.
yeah, probably I just got one plot on the top of Mount Amigo up by the dragon. So
I wouldn't mind. I'll be safe at least.
You'll be safe?
I'll befriend the dragon.
You'll befriend the dragon and have it as a pet?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I'm capable.
Okay, well, I mean, if that's what you're into, that's what you're into. I don't judge.
Well, you know how they got cat ladies?
You be a dragon lady?
Yeah.
That sounds a lot cool, actually.
Exactly.
It's kind of giving me the girl from what I show your name?
Man.
Sean HBO, man. With the White Walkers and...
Oh, you mean, shoot. I know what you mean.
Why do I not remember the name? I just having a serious brain freeze. Game of Thrones. Oh my gosh.
What was she name? Cersei? I'll be Cersei?
She was a Targaryen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could be a Targaryen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I read it. But yeah, I don't know how sustainable it would be to give everybody.
Especially if you, let's think about it. If one person let's say have a family that have a load of children, they have 8 of them.
And then
you come down a couple of generations, you could literally have one person who end up with a whole ton of land just because.
Yeah, because remember back then, especially
the family's breeding habits.
Yes, and if this was a habit that was implemented back then, we wasn't going to land as him because everybody was getting 8 children.
But yeah, that's true.
Minimum 8 children per household back then. So no, I don't think it would be sustainable. We have to figure out another way. But I do understand that it is important to own something where you reside.
Yeah, that's definitely important.
Yeah.
And Could do like Anguilla. Anguilla, like people just used to go and just walk out by this millennium.
That is not going to.
Just fence off here. The government could just decide, yeah, guys, like what you call it, like a land purge. Like for this one day, you could just go and decide where is the land.
Not only.
If you had to do that, where you going? Where you going to claim?
I probably going with the whole of the strip.
The whole of the strip?
Okay, with the whole area from the field, the empty plot, right back to the sea. All of that is mine.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I probably going over Capistrano. Going over Capistrano. The land fertile over there. The view is nice. I need a rain almost every day.
That's a good choice too.
Yeah, going over there.
That's a good choice.
You got a place over Bellevue, right? I'd always just say, like, if I was to just come into like a few $1 million.
Just now.
Yeah, I'm claiming it.
Yes.
Probably gonna make it off of crypto or something. But if I was to, yeah, you got a place up. I'd be every time I drive over there, just be like, if somebody just build a house right and that, right there.
You'll be jiggy.
Bye.
But they ain't gonna vision, so you don't know. Anyway, time for a break, guys, because we have some interviews coming up next.
Indeed.
So stick and stay with Island Tea. We'll be right back.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Supermarket shoppers understand that convenience matters. At Hortsport's Value Mart IGA, we know that price matters most. Ample parking and the widest variety matter. At Hortsport's Value Mart IGA, we know that price matters most. Clean, spacious aisles and the highest level of customer service all matter. At Hortsport's Value Mart IGA, price matters most. We've renewed our commitment to guarantee the lowest prices in the Federation. Why? Because we understand that in this tough economic environment, price matters most. Shop smart. Shop Value Mart, where price matters most. Farms Estate Nevis and Wellington Road, St. Kitts.
Price matters most.
No talk.
Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Island Tea, right? And we made your SKA on this beautiful.
SK who?
What's that?
SKA. Let's get them boys.
SKN. Wow.
Them boys throwing you down to the bar.
But I mean, what's going on?
Just all let me this week.
But guys, we're back on this beautiful Friday.
Yes, indeed.
January 14th, and we have a special guest in the studio with us this morning. We have Mr. Azard Gumbs in studio with us this morning. Azard, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Azem, and yourself?
I'm doing good. I was telling Jay this morning that I feel like I'm handling the year well so far.
That's awesome. Indeed, it should be a very great year.
That's the plan. That's the plan. That's the outlook.
The plan.
That's the outlook. And I know. Your plan is for it to be a very good year as well.
Yes.
As you're here representing the People's Action Movement, here to talk to us about the anniversary events that are coming up.
Indeed, Azem. Good morning, Jade, as well.
Good morning.
Good morning to everyone who is listening Win FM right now, either on radio or by a social media platform. It's always a pleasure to be here, Azim, Jade, in the studio at Win FM. And I do thank you for the opportunity to be here this morning.
For sure, man.
As you have indicated, Azim, I am here to speak on behalf of the People's Action Movement. I am currently the Assistant General Secretary of the People's Action Movement, and recently I was charged with the responsibility by our political leader to spearhead the 57th anniversary committee. And so we are going...
Before we even continue, 57 years.
57 years, as him.
That in itself is commendable.
Yes, a big achievement.
How many things have on for 57 years?
Not me.
Not many. And you know, when it comes to a political party, it's all about relationships and communication.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And for 57 years is a remarkable achievement.
For sure.
And so that is something that we have to be appreciative. Because I just want to joke and say, you know, some relationships don't last more than a year.
I'm telling you.
Sometimes after a few weeks, it's ended. And so the People's Action Movement is, in fact, a very strong party, a party that has been in existence for 57 years, come Wednesday, the 19th of January, 2022.
Wow. Nice.
As in, before we go into it, I want to read a letter that was penned on the formation of the party. It was penned and signed by then Dr. William Herbert and Sir Kennedy Alphonse Simmons. Mr. Herbert, or Dr. Herbert, was then the chairman of the party, and we had Sir Kennedy as the secretary of the party. And so for the listeners, this letter was dispatched to the administrator and the chief minister at the time. It says, "Dear Sir, we the undersigned hereby wish to inform you that a new political movement has been organized in this country. The name of the organization is the People's Action Movement, PAM, and it is our desire and intention to oppose the present government where necessary with respect to its attitude and approach to the numerous unsolved problems of our country. We sincerely hope that by constructive opposition, we shall render the process of government more democratic, more efficient, and of a lasting benefit to the expanding population of our country. Respectfully, Dr. William Herbert, Chairman, Sir Alphonse Kennedy Simmons, Secretary." Of course, at that point in time, Sir Kennedy wasn't Sir Kennedy.
Right.
Yes. So, you know. So that was the letter that was penned on that day and addressed to the administrator and the chief minister. And so from that time, the People's Action Movement has progressed. It has developed. It has grown. And so we are the party that we are today because of those persons whose vision it was back then. And our vision is putting people first.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just had the Husford's commercial that says people matter most.
Mm.
And as it was being played, as in my mind, I was thinking, for the People's Action Movement, people matter most as well. And so our vision, our theme for the 57th anniversary is PAM at 57, keeping true to our vision.
Mm.
And that is a vision that is people-oriented, people-centered, a people's approach. So, as it relates to the activities that we are having, we have on Sunday the 16th of January, we go to West Bastia at the Antioch Baptist Church with Pastor Lincoln Connor at 9:30 a.m. And we invite those persons, party supporters, members, to join us as we celebrate giving thanks. It's a service where we give thanks to God. We must give God thanks for the goodness that He has bestowed upon us individually, and of course our party, the strength He has given us. And so in everything you have to give God thanks. And so we're starting off being thankful and praising God for what He has done for us and the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. So we welcome persons to come out on Sunday.
And what time does the service start? Just for
9:30 a.m. Yes, and we welcome persons. You know, you could put on a dash of yellow if you're so minded.
A dash of yellow.
You could put on some gold. You know, the ladies can accessorize as they want, and so the fellas as well. We want to ensure that we brighten the place.
Indeed.
Of course, you know, it's sunshine, and so we want to make sure we have positive energy, positive vibes, and give God thanks for what He has done.
Indeed.
On Monday, we have in the evening at 7:30, we have our membership drive. It's a special membership drive, but it's going to be with a difference. And that's on the 17th. What we're having a panel of speakers that are going to speak about the formation, development, the growth of the People's Action Movement.
Okay.
The activities and accomplishments over the years, what we have done for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, and the future of the party. And oftentimes, as you hear our representatives speak, but at this opportunity, at this event, we're going to have members of the party speak about the party. And we have a panel of 5 persons, and I'm just going to say who those persons are. We have a mixture. So we have Noel Irish, who's been around the party for some time, so he could talk about the formation of the party, the growth of the party he has seen over the years. We have McClure Taylor, who's been a part of the party for years and who can speak to the growth, the history, the development of the party. We have young persons as well. We have Dario, who's a young person within the party. We have Shermel Drew, who is a young person within the party. We also have Jonelle Rollins, who has been a former candidate of our party, contesting the seat in constituency number 6. And we also would have a special appearance by our political leader, the next Prime Minister of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honorable Sean Richards.
All right, boy, you whole chest. Not even a stutter.
Yes. And so we want to encourage persons to learn the history of PAM, because one thing I've often said is that when it comes to the history of our party, I want to say that the fault lies with us. We don't often educate, make persons aware of what the party has done, because the party has done a number of things. This was a party that ushered in independence. This was a party that saw the first Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, and of course, a number of development as a tiny federation, a new federation. And of course, I often say if we don't write our own story, our story will be written by someone who might not have our best interests at heart. And so we want to ensure that we write our story, what we have done over the years. And when I say we, collectively, because the party is no one individual.
Right.
The party comprises of members. It comprises of persons. So it's not a one-person party, and no party could be a one-person party. And of course, we collectively have accomplished much for the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, and we want to encourage others to be a part of the party. So there we are going to tell you how you can be a member of the People's Action Movement. In fact, there's an annual subscription of $50, and that could be paid to our secretariat at Church Street. It gives you the opportunity to vote at caucus. It gives you the opportunity to attend party events. And caucus is a very important event within our party. That's where you select who the national executive is, who the political leader is, and certain decisions are made there for the benefit of the party. And so I want to encourage persons, to give the People's Action Movement a try. For those persons who haven't signed up yet. Of course, we know that we were victorious at the last general elections, and we would have garnered a lot of support from the people of St. Kitts and Nevis and the young people of St. Kitts and Nevis, and we want to ensure that the support is kept and built upon. On Tuesday, that's the 18th of January 2022, we have what is called Constituency Day. And again, we say that the party is people-centered. And of course, Constituency Day focuses on the people within the constituency. And so our political groups, our constituency political groups, are going to spearhead that event. We have various chairs, we have caretakers, we have MPs, sitting MPs. And so with their groups, respective groups, events would be planned on that day. Might be simultaneously, might be, we leave the creativity to the constituency groups to do what they have to do. We understand that it's a COVID environment. As you were saying, Azim and Jay, the streets are a bit bare. You don't see many persons out right now. And so we have to adhere to the COVID-19 protocols. We have to understand the time in which we live in. And of course, COVID has presented us with some opportunities as well, where we could be creative when it comes to virtual experiences. And we have seen that done. And we have seen where people, places, organizations, institutions have fashioned themselves around it. And so, Jade and Azim, we are going to do an activity within our constituency.
Awesome.
On Wednesday is a big day, because Wednesday is where it all comes to an end. That is our anniversary there, the 19th of January, 2022. And so we have media there. I know many persons have questions, concerns, things that they want to ask our leaders. And of course, we have a scheduled interview on ZIZ Radio at 10 a.m. that Wednesday. And in attendance is expected to be our 4 members of parliament.
Okay.
Minister Richards, the next Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. We have Minister Grant. We have Minister Hamilton. We have Minister Powell. And of course, we hope to have also our candidate, Natasha Gray. And so that is at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, ZIZ Radio. And then after ZIZ, they then approach Freedom FM on the show Issues with the host EK. And so they're going to go through another radio interview, the 4 plus our candidates, new candidates, hopefully. And so
and people will be encouraged to interact with the panelists on these shows. Would they have scope for them? Okay, nice, nice.
We have a panel. As I said before, we have the panelists for the membership drive.
Right.
Of course, we're going to make it interactive. You could call in.
Nice.
We're going to give you the number to call during the time. We want you to keep your lock on our Facebook page, the People's Action Movement Facebook page, which will be going live. I'm going to see if we could get something else, some other place that could go live as well.
Right.
Just to include everyone. And in addition to that, so the Wednesday is going to be a live calling program where persons can address the ministers.
Nice.
They're going to focus primarily on the accomplishments and future of the party, though.
Right, for sure.
So that is what we want to garner on that day. And so after that whole media announcements on that day, we go into the evening at PAM, the People's Action Movement. We like to call it party headquarters, And that is at 6 p.m. And we are welcoming members of the party, supporters of the party to come. We're going to have some, like displays, magazines on display from our 50th anniversary, which was a big 50th anniversary for us. And we just want persons to feel welcome. It's the end of the week of celebration. It's still in January, so we're still festive as it relates to the new year, still hopeful as it relates to the new year. We know the new year has come with some surprises, and so it's a time for us to, relax. And we encourage persons, we'll have drinks, free drinks, we'll have free eats, you could just come while supplies last, and just enjoy yourself, a little light music. Of course, COVID-19 protocols to be adhered to. The book so your name could be written in, so you could know in case there's need for contact tracing afterwards. And so we just want to encourage persons to be a part of the movement, be a part of a party that's people-centered, a party that is ever-growing, a party that is strong, and a party that is here and here to stay as him. And Jade.
Well, I mean, after all these years, I don't feel like y'all wouldn't be going anywhere anytime soon.
Yes. Cemented.
Yes.
Yes, cemented. True and strong, keeping true to our vision. 57 years.
Well, Azard, it seems as though there's a lot of energy behind the party. There seems to be a feeling of excitement and hope looking forward to what's to come as you continue to look back and bring forward those tenets that you guys hold true to and adhere to the vision that you outlined so ably earlier. I really like the fact that you guys are encouraging people to come out and kind of and also give that access to persons to the candidates. A lot of times I feel like there's a feeling of that disconnect between candidates and just people.
Yes.
Right? And so having that be a part of the celebration, I think is well done and in order. Jade.
Hi.
What do you think? You think this thing gonna be jiggy next week?
Listen, they got some plans, right? They got some plans. I'm excited to see how these plans roll out. Especially with the part where you could actually talk to the candidates.
Right.
That is very important.
Yeah.
Instead of waiting until election time, they are doing it early so people can get acquainted. Any questions, any concerns, you could put it out to the candidates, which is, yes, as I said, important. So, yeah, I'm excited to see how this plays out. Hopefully you guys will come back and give us, a little synopsis of how everything went, the successes, everything.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's important. And
No
I
problem.
also like the fact that you keep lamenting on the fact that our next Prime Minister...
Yes, the next Prime Minister of the Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis, the Honourable Sean Richards.
Yes, that is...
Sean, big up yourself.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, Azard, I mean, 57 years is no easy feat.
Not at all.
And again, just from us here at Island Tea, we want to congratulate the party on 57 years, being a real active player in the development of the nation. And looking forward to another 57 years for the party, and even
Thank
beyond.
you, Azim. Thank you, Jade.
And we are looking forward to see when you throw your hat in today.
Well,
I hear it in your voice, and I hear it in your voice.
I'm always ready to serve, but I leave it up to those persons who decision it would be.
Right.
That's what I always say.
That's a politician answer there.
Listen, you can't fool me, You can't fool me.
But just for people who might be wondering how to keep up to date with everything that's happening with the party, you mentioned it earlier, but let people know the social media and any other ways that they could keep up to what's happening.
Definitely. I would tell persons to log on to our Facebook page, People's Action Movement, like the page. A lot is going on. Try to stay abreast and attuned and tune into our page. One thing I want to encourage persons to, next week is a light week in terms of, it's party. Wear something yellow. If you got to wear something yellow more than once, wear something yellow.
I'm saying yellow up the place, like.
Wear what you have.
Yellow up the place.
Yeah, man. All gold.
All
There's
gold.
options.
It's a gold rush, Jade.
Oh, see, there you go. There you go.
Oh, man. Azard, thanks so much for coming in and sharing with us the plans and what you guys have going on. And just keeping us informed with what's happening with the party.
No
Appreciate
problem,
it big time.
Azim. No problem, Jade. Anytime the party is willing and open for interaction at any point in time. And so thank you so much. I want to thank those persons who have listened to me this morning, give the party's plans. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate WinFM for giving us the opportunity to broadcast our message. Thank you.
All right, man, for sure.
Indeed.
Well, Jade,
Took a little break, man.
let's take a little break.
Yeah, that was a lot
Come
of
right back.
information to process.
Yeah, you guys go sip on some tea. We'll be right back right here on Island Tea and with Media SKN. Stay locked, stay tuned. Don't go nowhere.
Rams is for you and me. Giving back to community. Rams is for you and me. Better for your family. Better service, better price, better value, better choice. Rewarding you for loyalty. Rams is for you and me. Better price and quality.
Welcome back to Island Tea right here on with Media SKN. It is still Friday the 14th.
Boy, it is indeed.
Friday.
We've made it, guys, to another week.
Yeah, bye. We basically halfway through the month of January. And in 2 weeks, we'll be back in December. But just like that, guys, we're back.
Boy.
But Jade, there's a lot happening. We mentioned the story yesterday.
Yes, we did.
And had a little discussion on the fact that Prince Andrew is gonna have to face the courts.
Boy.
In relation to this this whole sex scandal thing. The Jeffrey Epstein saga continues.
Boy, does it.
Even after his passing.
The plot thickens.
The plot thickens. So much so that the Queen walk out. No, it's too thick.
You got to.
It's too thick. It's too thick.
You gotta go. What mention they say? You gotta leave. You gotta go.
You gotta leave. You gotta go.
You think she played that song when he was leaving?
Oh, no.
You'd have been appropriate.
But guys, Prince Andrew loses military titles and the use of HRH. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The story says the Duke of York's military titles and royal patronage have been returned to the Queen, Buckingham Palace has said. Prince Andrew, who's 61, will also stop using His Royal Highness in an official capacity, a royal source says. It comes as he faces a U.S. civil action over sexual assault allegations, claims he has consistently denied. A source close to the Duke said he would continue to defend himself against the case brought in New York by Virginia Giuffre, or whatever her name is.
Let's call it more Virginia, yeah?
Virginia.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
He got in jail.
You think so?
Yeah, man. You know why I believe so? Because usually in cases like these,
You say innocent until proven guilty?
Yes. But the actions of his family...
Seem like they know something?
Yeah, I feel like that's something that way, though. Because why would you strip him before the case even goes to the process? No, she knows
No,
something.
not really. I think a lot of times what happens in especially in these cases, I don't think that's the case. I think that's the case for regular people and so. But what we have to understand about the royal family, like it's all about image.
Yes, it is.
It's all about image. And so I think recognizing that it does not look good to have the prince going through sexual assault allegations and a case, they're gonna just distance themselves from him. Like,
Yeah, but then the reason why I really do believe that they know something is because this isn't something new. Like these didn't just happen, you know.
no, but I think it's different if somebody come out, scandal surrounds rich and famous people all the time. When things end up in court, then it just like it's a different kind of thing. Whether he is found innocent or guilty, they were gonna distance themselves from that.
There was no time.
Yeah. They tried to support him, but it was like,
nah,
bye.
you're making the thing hot now. You're making the thing a little too hot for us now. Let's yeah.
The Duke of York will continue not to undertake any public duties and is defending this case as a private citizen. All Prince Andrew's roles have been returned to the Queen with immediate effect and will be redistributed to other members of the royal family, a source said. The issue had been widely discussed with the royal family, the source said. Like Harry and Meghan, Prince Andrew retains his title, His Royal Highness, but will not use it in any official capacity. A spokesperson for the Ministry of Defense said it had no comment about the Duke's military titles being handed back to the Queen and that it was a matter for the palace. On Thursday, a letter released by anti-monarchy pressure group Republic was signed by more than 150 Royal Navy and Army veterans asking the Queen to strip Prince Andrew of his 8 British military titles. Lieutenant Stuart Hunt, who served the 1st Royal Tank Regiment and signed the letter, welcomed the prince losing his military titles, but suggested the matter should have been resolved sooner. The 52-year-old told the PA news agency, "It's an unsavory business." That's such a British. It's an unsavory business.
Is this your British voice?
I'm just
You need a
I
little
know
work.
I actually try not to have a British voice. I'm just glad he's not associated with the military now.
Wow.
Woo.
You had it if.
And this is what I'm talking about, Jade. Whether he's guilty or not, he has brought things into disrepute. He's not fit to serve in an honorary rank. He has foregone that right by getting into this sort of situation.
Yep.
The response from Buckingham Palace has been swift and almost brutal. The royal family is being firmly distanced from the toxic fallout from the allegations against Prince Andrew. He will have to defend himself against Virginia as a private citizen. There will be no more His Royal Highness in this court case.
I hate him, you know. The public's so pissed off.
Bye.
Imagine him going to family dinners now, right? He's the black sheep right now. He's definitely the black sheep.
Bye.
They're probably so annoyed as him with having to deal with this. It seems like, because I don't know, maybe it's me, right? But besides the Diana scandal, we haven't really seen much of these type of events coming out of the royal palace, you know, except for about last year or year before. Things just started looking.
Well, I mean, yeah, the Meghan thing was kind of tense.
Yeah, that's why I said I think that was either last year or year before. But after that, boy, they just been... Y'all trying to kill the queen, boy. Y'all ain't trying to lie about her, she good glory at all. Y'all trying to kill the queen.
Then that the queen trying to hold on because she walk out. I can't afford for these people here to take over. That's what I know.
I in my old age ready to go out the door to do all of this.
And that the queen knew all along these people can't handle this.
That's why she holding on so long.
That's why she holding on so long. The queen is telling them, I'm tired.
But I have to.
Look
at who I can't leave these people in charge.
The queen can live to about 207 years.
Yeah, because they ain't getting it together. They're not getting it together as them. She has nobody there that she could say, you know what? Y'all got this. Well, maybe Kate and what do your husband name?
Oh,
Which child that one?
Charles? What?
Prince William? What your name?
Ain't Charles? No,
Ain't
Charles
sure.
Charles was his husband, right?
Yeah, he done gone. He
Yeah,
said,
he
man,
done
deal
gone.
with this again.
Yeah, he couldn't deal with it
He
no
couldn't.
more.
Probably that way the man had to clock out because all of these things happening. Y'all stressing out the people. Y'all
Oh,
stressing out
boy.
the people.
Yeah, but again, this is going to be probably one of the bigger like court cases. I think
Definitely
this
will
year.
be.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be. I do believe that they're going to end up dragging it off and dragging it out and taking forever, but who knows? With everything that's going on, he might as well just deal with it.
One time, get out the way. If you get, and I feel like only guilty people drag things out, eh?
Really?
Yeah, if you're innocent and you could prove that you're innocent, just get over with it. You don't feel so?
No. I think a lot of times, 'cause a lot of innocent people does go jail. Eh?
Yeah, regular, another.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and then if you're guilty, you drag it out simply just because you want more time with your family and things. Let's see what this caller have to say. Good morning, caller 11 Island T. What's up?
Hi. The other day you had a discussion on mental health, and that went so well. I'm enjoying your discussion this morning because there's so many people who prey on vulnerable young girls and young men. It is terrible. Sometimes you have, like, in government places, I've heard of people who throw parties for people who had preyed on young women and those kind of things in the past. I think it still exists. All of them saying, leave poor people, children alone just because they're struggling. And another thing, to me, when you are 20, 21, you're still young. You're still trying to find yourself. I don't think any big, nasty, grown man supposed to be trying to get with people that young, whether they are young women or young men. Leave poor people, children alone. Let them strive. Let them find themselves. That's what I'm saying. And I'm glad that, this is being highlighted because his associates and them, trying to get with people. Once people don't pick their own size, and own age. So that's my thing, and thanks for raising this topic this morning. Take care.
You're right. But I mean, that's not how it works, unfortunately, in this life that we live. These people just need to be held accountable for their actions, and that's all we can hope for. If you're guilty, jail.
Yeah.
Witty, jail.
What?
Read witty comment.
Oh.
No type of behavior, boy. No type of behavior. I'll be right back.
Yeah, and one of the things that I keep pointing out is that if we feel like this is an isolated case, then we're sorely mistaken. We're really trying to deal with this one particular situation, but
Yeah.
if y'all feeling got some other islands out there right now,
Including ours.
Jade.
No, let's just say it.
Yeah,
Including ours.
yeah, make me go home here. 'Cause you can make the body come disappear me here.
The inside work, friend.
Okay.
Inside work.
But yeah, I mean, this is a serious problem all around. You got too much people who use their power, influence, position, to take
Money,
advantage. Yeah,
yes.
to take advantage of.
But yeah, so we'll continue to monitor this case because we know that this is going to be one that is going to.
Yeah, you can't avoid it.
Yeah, it's going to take
You
over
can't.
the media.
Yeah.
But we have a very special guest in the studio joining us now.
A very
so
special guest. We're gonna take a break and come right back.
Yes.
But yeah, guys, so we'll take a quick break and then we'll be right back. Right here on Island T. Stay tuned, Stella. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Island Tea Variety on my media SK. And while Jade is malfunctioning,
Indeed.
but we only got half hour to go, Jade. You can make it.
Actually, we have 15 minutes to go.
Nah, man, we got a little more.
Yeah.
But as we mentioned yesterday, guys, we have a very special guest in the studio with us this morning, Miss Shannon Hawley, chairperson of the St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival Committee. Shannon, what are you saying?
Morning. I took a little break, a little 2-week break, but I'm good. I'm refreshed, ready to go.
Gotcha. Them breaks have been necessary, you know.
Absolutely.
Your last carnival event was 2 weeks ago?
I don't even know.
Just about. Yeah, what, the 30th?
Yeah. So took a little 2-week break, refreshed, ready to go again. It's 2022, so we're looking forward to good things to come for this year.
Oh, boy, I could imagine.
Well, before we even get into 2022, let us know, how do in your opinion, as the chair of this year's carnival, how do you think 2021 went?
For carnival or in general?
For carnival.
Okay, we can't even in general.
We know how in general went.
I think carnival was a tremendous success, if I might say so myself, based on feedback, based on just generally what efforts we put in as a committee, as service providers, volunteers, etc. I think that Carnival was an extreme success, in my opinion, based on the circumstances, of course. And we look forward to 2022, and then there's absolutely no stopping us now. I think that we are in a position to move forward with the planning of Sugar Mass 51. And I think that it is important and necessary to start planning today, for 12 months down the line, in order for us to have a equally amazing Sugar Mass 2022.
Yeah, for sure. I think that there was a lot of talk, even leading up to, Sugar Mass 50, about what it was going to look like, what was going to be possible, what would be the restrictions, and even with some of that, those questions hanging in the air, you still had to plan, you still had to put things in place, you still had to make sure that there was a Sugar Mass 50, and as you said, that there was, and we went through it, and it's now that we look back, what are some of the things that you're most proud about as the chairperson, as it relates to what we were able to pull off for Sugar Mass 50?
Well, I think first and foremost, the ability for the team to overcome the extreme challenges. You have to take into consideration that even though we were in the back end planning from summer, we were unable to obtain permission official permission till probably November. So we didn't know the format that Sugar Mass 50 would take. It was very difficult to therefore plan around that, because we were unable to go then to the general public and be able to update them in due time in order to get them in the mood for Sugar Mass 50. Mm. So I think in terms of overcoming that challenge, for not only me, but for the team, and being able to put on an amazing experience with our pageants, our competitions, Bubble Juve. We had about, 15, 16 shows over this 6-week period. So it was a lot for us being having to cater to both an online audience and a live in-person audience. It was a tremendous strain on the team, but I think overall that our ability to overcome that challenge and ensure that people had a good time. And not only that, but, ensure that the entertainment industry and individuals in the entertainment industry took part in the whole Sugar Mass experience. And you will see that trickle-down effect because of that. So giving entertainers the opportunity to perform, even despite the extreme challenges, and as I said before, overcoming those challenges. And at the end of the day, I think that everyone who took part in Sugar Mass 50 had a great time. And that's most important.
Yes, definitely. But even though we're talking about the good side, what are some things that you would hope to change going into this next carnival? I know we had some issues where some some performers weren't able to take part. Some of the entertainment industry felt a little left out.
Yes, for
Do
sure.
you think we can see a situation where we can have some sort of inclusion going into this next carnival?
Well, if it was left up to me, absolutely, Jade. You know how I feel about that. I think I've said it more than once. I don't have to go back there. But at the end of the day, we have experienced a curtailed celebration over the past 2 years. I really cannot see us going into 2022 another year with the experience as it was in 2021 and 2020. It just absolutely makes no sense in my opinion. I think we are in a position, it's very early, of course, in the game, but I think that we're in a position to really look at ensuring that our carnival for this year, we have 12 months to go, and we don't know what will happen, but I think that we are in a position to start planning as if, we are going into a fully loaded Sugar Mass 2022, in my opinion. But again, that's only my opinion.
Yeah, because we had a caller actually call this morning. This was somebody who is one of the heads of the clown groups, and they felt a bit left out of this year's carnival, and hopefully they are looking forward to participating in the next one. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Carnival is about unity, right? So carnival is about bringing people together. I don't think we can go another year with this, as I said, curtailing the overall experience, from vendors to folklore troops to performers, entertainers, DJs, calypsonians. It's not a 3-day event. Carnival is, a 2-month, 3-month event. And that is what we as a committee need to look at. We need to look at ensuring that everyone who is accustomed to taking part in Carnival does so for 2022. And that is the only way forward, in my opinion. We have had challenges. We have had to, of course, in the face of the pandemic, you would know that prior to, we couldn't do anything without approval from the police force or the task force. So that in itself was a whole job. But I think that, again, in order for us to look at how we are going to build on Sugar Mass 2022, we need to look at it as going into it as a full-fledged Sugar Mass experience, what we were accustomed to in 2019 and prior.
Yeah, and I think it is doable because, yes, there are things that we need to have in place in order to, hopefully we're not going through this whole serious pandemic and cases rising and all of that in next December, but I feel like there are ways in which we can have everybody be included. Absolutely. We've seen it around, around internationally. We've seen testing. That was something that we were pushing for prior to Sugar Mass for all of our events. When we got the permission to host events for fully vaccinated, we still said, well, what about testing prior to the events? Antigen testing, and we hope that leading up to Sugar Mass, more and more events will have that inclusion of testing, because we see what has happened. We see that vaccinated individuals could be carriers, could pass on, could get corona, right? So we think that additional step of testing, whether it is for carnival or mass events in general, I would hope to see that introduced in 2022. Because it's easy. We saw it done in Miami. It's another tool. And it's just another tool of protection. So I don't understand and I don't see why it should not be included. Neither do we.
So I think for me, that is something that I'd like to see moving forward. For all mass events, introduction of the antigen test, self-administered antigen test. We're in a situation now where we are pretty responsible. We know what we need to do. And we sometimes don't even know whether or not we have no symptoms. So we want to include, and I would encourage that be considered seriously for moving forward with whether it's a small gathering or it is a mass event.
No, we do. We definitely hear. We speak about this all the time.
Whether vaccinated or unvaccinated.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've said it time and time again because we do feel like, yes, some of the protocols do help, but we feel like some of them really cannot.
No, if you have the tools, you'd use them. It's
Yes,
simple as that.
Absolutely. We've seen it done all over. It may not be 100% accurate, but it is another tool. That is the point. And so we had hoped that that would have been introduced for Sugar Mass 50. We look forward, we hope that it will be introduced, in this coming year. We see what is happening right now. We see the authorities saying that everything is under control, even though the cases are rising. We see that a number of the individuals who have contracted corona are fully vaccinated, sometimes even with boosters. Yes, the symptoms are minor, but at the same time, we want to ensure that additional tool. And we hope that the powers that be would work with the entertainment community to introduce that and get people accustomed to, testing themselves. I have right now a box of tests on my front seat, so it is just something that I do naturally every couple of days. I test myself, and I think it is the responsible thing to do and just get people accustomed to that.
I think that is something that has to become the norm. Just being able to even just have that peace of mind, knowing that, hey, yeah, I'm good, especially those of us who, might be interacting with people who, for whatever reason, may be more at risk, or may not be in a position to take the vaccine or whatever. Those who live with grandparents, have young children, etc., etc.
Of course, but all in all, in terms of Sugar Mass, I think even though we had to curtail the experience to vaccinated individuals only, I think people thoroughly enjoyed our events, our Queen Pageant swimsuit competition, Calypso show, Bubble Juve, icons, etc. We had overall hundreds of thousands of people views online, even in terms of pay-per-view, the pay-per-view experience. We had over 1,000 individuals paying online for the National Carnival Queen Pageant, and we had significant numbers who paid online for our Soca Monarch, our swimsuit competition, our Calypso competition. So we see this as the way forward as well, to integrate that online experience for individuals who may not be here. I recently concluded a workshop in Grenada for the Grenada Carnival Committee. So people are looking, people around the region are watching us. They're looking at what we have done. They're looking not to recreate the wheel, but, do a copy and paste of what we have done. So that in itself is an accomplishment for me, for committees around the region reaching out to us for assistance in the planning of their 2022 carnival experiences. So for me, that is a positive, and I think that we have put our carnival on the map. It has definitely evolved, and I think that it is important for us to continue the momentum and ensure that everyone who logged on for Sugar Mass for the past 2 years online be able to come and experience it live and lively for 2022. And I think that is where it would be most important and most significant for me.
So do you think we will see a rise in carnival activities this year? Do you guys see space for more things happening?
Absolutely. What I have always said, Jade, is I said that the Carnival Committee should not be in competition with any private event promoter. The Carnival Committee the role mainly is to facilitate, to ensure that all events that fall under the Carnival umbrella are successful. And for that, we need the assistance of private event promoters. When you look at larger scale carnivals around the region, people travel to the carnivals not because of a national carnival event per se, but they look at events that are being hosted by private event promoters. So for us, we want to ensure that for this year, we work very closely with private event promoters from early, not only private event promoters, but troop leaders, whether it's the Grand Parade, Juve. These are the experiences that people generally come to a carnival for. And so the intention is from very early to start the discussions, quiet discussions with the various troops, with the event promoters to get a feel, to get their feedback, to understand exactly what they require from us in order to ensure that our upcoming Sugar Mass 2022 is a success, and not only a success because of the National Carnival Committee, but a success because of the private stakeholders that are so important and that have not had a real large role to play in the last 2 years in our carnival.
Right, and there's a lot of things that we want to include moving forward, but one of the things that I want to do away with is just the term fringe event. Please.
Yeah.
Please.
You notice I didn't use it today.
Yes,
I did not use it. I made a conscious effort not to say fringe event.
Yes, I love and appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's because, like you said, it's so important that we have the inclusion of these private events as part of the carnival experience. That really does give it a whole lift.
Different level. I mean, we saw the Sugar Mass experience ending with like top off brunch. We saw BFF, which we were able to be a part of as the carnival committee in terms of offering assistance. But these are the things that we would like to do. We want to see that. We want to see beautiful people. We want to see great atmosphere, great environment, awesome pictures and after movies coming out. This is how our Sugar Mass, this is what sells our Sugar Mass experience, And we spoke last year about moving up the pageants and, the shows up earlier into the carnival experience and leaving the Power Week to, the private events and to, that massive wow experience. And that was something that we were hoping that we could do in 2021, but of course, because we had to curtail the overall carnival, we decided to host those events in the traditional time frame that they were held previously. But definitely pushing all of those pageants and calypso competitions and up early, because people generally do not travel to the islands for these events, right?
Yeah.
They travel. These are more local events. They travel for the Cooler Fete and the BFF, the top off brunch. This is what they go to experience, the grand parade. That is what makes carnival, Juve, etc. So that is my aim for 2022, God willing, to ensure that all of the private promoters, the troop leaders, the individuals who generally make the carnival experience, that wow experience, be heard and have their input and get what they need in order to facilitate like an absolutely amazing Sugar Mass 2022.
And unfortunately we're running down on time, but one thing I have to commend is the fact that the venues weren't the traditional venues, especially for the Miss St. Kitts show, like having that venue move, because years past it's always outside. We have to worry about the rain and the...
You have to accessorize with the umbrella.
Yes.
And flat shoes.
Flat shoes. So this is an event where ladies especially love to dress up.
Everyone dress up, Jade. Men,
Listen,
ladies,
I was looking at the live stream,
It was amazing, and we can't go back.
No.
For me, in my opinion, and if I am the chair for Sugar Mass 2022, we can't go back regardless of whether we're in the pandemic or not. This is about stepping up. This is about making our experiences memorable, right? And for me, I just cannot see us going back to what was. We need that extra level of, we need to step it up, and we need to continue stepping it up. Not only for the pageants, but you saw the return of the Soca Monarch competition, which went down really well. You have the Calypso competition, despite the challenges, it went down really well. So we have the competitions from our end. We feel that they were extremely successful. So now it is about planning to bring back Sugar Mass on the road, and how we're going to do that in the face of the pandemic, and hopefully 12 months from now, we don't have to be speaking about Corona as we speak about it now, but we speak about it like how we speak about just a general flu, right? So for me, Jay, before I leave, I just want to thank everyone who was a part of the Sugar Mass experience, the volunteers who worked day in and day out at the gates, backstage, etc., our production team, technical team, sound engineers, videographers, everyone on the committees who are all volunteers, including myself, who made the Carnival Sugar Mass experience memorable, the performers, entertainers, Calypsonians, Soca Monarch, artists, all the individuals, folklore troops, etc., who are involved in the opening of Carnival. These individuals are who make our Carnival experience, and we just want to encourage them and thank them and look forward to hosting our Sugar Mass Awards over the next coming few weeks, as well as our prize giving ceremony. I want to encourage everyone who has taken part in the Sugar Mass experience to please submit your invoices to the National Carnival Committee so that we can settle them as soon as possible. And we look forward to things to come, and you guys will hear more over the next few months from us as we continue to build the Sugar Mass brand and the overall carnival experience for St. Kitts and Nevis.
There you have it, guys. Our lovely carnival chairwoman has spoken, and
Good.
yes,
Ready for 2022? Yeah.
Listen,
Absolutely.
I started
You know
from
that.
now.
You know
I'm
that.
starting from now, getting it together. Actually, we literally started planning top off already, so you know.
Amazing. And, move the venue, think of bigger and better experiences. I've seen the videos from all the private events. I look forward to being a part of the, planning of these events over the next few months. And let's get out early. Let's get off the mark early and put our Sugar Mass on the map for individuals to mark on their calendars from around the region and internationally. This is where I will be in December 2022, God willing.
I agree.
All right. Well, guys,
I agree. You agree?
I agree.
You said
And
you
then
didn't song this year?
then we go send bats for New Year's.
Yeah.
No, but we look forward to being back on the road for 2022. God
Definitely,
willing.
boy.
For sure.
Definitely.
I think that is what people really just hoping happens.
Yes.
That road experience. And I think we are on the way to making that a
I think
reality.
it's possible.
Yeah,
I think so
definitely.
too. If it was up to me, I think absolutely it is
for
possible.
Sure. For sure.
So, guys, whoever is in charge and makes certain decisions.
Call him Jade.
No, I'm going to give Jonelle a chance today. And yes, I think y'all just put it into the hands of the carnival chairwoman and let her do what she needs to do. She's capable. That's why she's the chairwoman.
Okay, I got you.
Thanks for your validation and support.
Anytime. If this is what gets us back on the road, I'm for it.
I feel you. But guys, it is Friday. It's been a wonderful week. Jade, we had a jiggy week this week, yeah?
Yes, and we're going to have one next week when I
And it
plan
ended
it.
jiggy.
Yeah, you understand. We're on a high note.
You definitely did.
And on a high note. But guys, it's been a real pleasure talking to you all week. Thank you guys for joining us again. Like I keep saying, without you guys, this ain't really make no sense, no?
Not at all.
Whether you join us on Facebook, YouTube, if you listen to us on winmediaskn.com, or you log on your radios at 98.9, make sure you turn it up loud and disturb people. But
As you should.
we appreciate you being a part of it. All you guys who log on and comment, all the people who call in on the radio, on the phone lines, appreciate you so much. The man who met me outside this morning and kept me for 5 minutes before I reach up here telling me how much he loved the show, still I almost was late for the show, so he telling me about. Appreciate you as well, sir.
Yes.
But guys, it's the weekend. Be safe. Remember to deal with people with love and light. Remember, look out for your fellow man. Not because we make it to 2022, meaning we stop. We're still looking forward to 2023, and I need you guys to be there with me because, of course, like the chairperson said, Sugar Mass 51 going to be even greater. So, remember, before we go, spend more time living your content than posting it now.
Please.
And, of course, remember, you can't be everybody's cup of tea because you is not a mug.